Russian fairy tales. Is Ivan really full? Wow, this topic is a really entertaining one. Russian fairy tales. Who are the basic protagonists? What is their basic message? Do they have a direct connotation or they are cheek in the tongue? What is the most widely spread masculine name in Russia? Yeah, you are right. Of course it's Ivan, you may say, and it'll be a wrong statement. This is no longer true. For a long time, actually. But there was a time when, yes, Ivan, or Ivan in Russian, was almost, if not every second, but every 100th. Ivan used to be the one, if not the main heroes in Russian folklore. That's true. To be more precise, Ivan the Fool. Now let's find out why he was the fool. Or was he? So here's a short description of Ivan. Usually he's the youngest son in the family, usually the third one. Very easy to get along with, very kind and simple-minded, and very poor, who has no heritage. Thus he is penniless, he is broke. His brothers are usually very envious of him as he is loved by the parents. He is cute and attractive, blonde and blue-eyed. Ivan the Fool is usually depicted as either peasant or coming from a very poor family. His older brothers are often portrayed as much smarter than our protagonists. He acts driven by his emotions and what his heart, not mind, tells him. Albeit he is always broke, he is eager to help people around who need a hand. Ivan never gets pissed despite constant offense from his brothers or just evildoers. Every his venture he is into always ends with happy ending. He wins monsters, makes friends with everyone he meets on his way there or here. He completes the tasks from the Tsar, and these tasks are really challenging. Long story short, he gets the best out of the worst ever possible. In the end of the day, our Ivan, the Fool, gets rewarded with unreal luck. He either gets a half of a kingdom or something similar. So, we may come to the conclusion that Ivan the Fool is not a fool at all. He is such in the eyes of the strangers, or a family, or just the people he meets in his life. They always judge him as a naive and simple man with no aim or bright intentions. And Ivan, on the contrary, being very positive and kind and tolerant person, takes it all despite all the losses, difficulties and obstacles on his way forward. The other protagonist in Russian fairy tales is Yemelya, also a young man, but all he does is idling. He lays on the clay oven inside the house in the kitchen and keeps dreaming of the happiness coming his way out of nowhere. He is just a very lazy boy thinking of how to get everything doing nothing. Like with Ivan, Yemelya has two brothers who are married. His brothers manage a trading business left to them by their dead father. Once his brothers head for a business trip or order Yemelya to do some work about the business. During the days and weeks the brothers were gone, the wives tried unsuccessfully to get Yemelya to do work, until one day they left Yemelya with a choice. Get water from the frozen river, or no dinner, or no kaftan, red boots or red hats. At that threat, Yemelya hurried on his way, and on reaching the river, he grumbled about his problems while hacking away at the thick ice. As he scooped water into the buckets, he noticed he had caught a fish, a large pike. Yemelya was going to take it home for supper, but the pike pleaded with him, promising that if Yemelya were to let him go, that Yemelya would never need to work again, which was a tempting offer for lazy Yemelya. All he would need to say was, "By the pike's command and at my desire," and his will would be done. Yemelya agreed, and to his surprise, the commands worked. Yemelya was not careful to conceal his new talent for work, and soon the Tsar heard about it and ordered this magician to appear before him at his palace by the sea. Yemelya, being foolish and lazy, ordered his stove to take him to the Tsar, using the pike's command. He arrived instantly at the palace before the Tsar, still lying on his stove, where he looked down on the Tsar and was not acting the way a subject should towards his superior. The Tsar would have ordered his head cut off, but he had not wanted the secret to the boy's power. However, he could not extract the secret from Yemelya, so he tried to use his daughter to get the secret. After 3 days of teaching each other games, the princess had learned only that Yemelya was handsome, fun, and charming. She wanted to marry him. The Tsar was at first angry, then decided that Yemelya would perhaps give up his secret to his wife if he became married. So he arranged for a wedding. At first, Yemelya was horrified at the idea, believing a wife to be more trouble than it was worth. He agreed, though, and the wedding feast was held soon after, at which Yemelya finally got down from his stove. During the feast, Yemelya had terrible table manners, which convinced the Tsar to finally rid himself of the obnoxious boy. A sleeping potion was added to Yemelya's wine. He was thrown in a barrel and tossed into the sea, and his bride banished to an island in the sea opposite the palace. While floating in the waves, Yemelya encountered his friend the pike, who allowed Yemelya to wish for anything his heart desired, since he had not abused his power. Yemelya wished for wisdom, and when the pike pushed him to the island, Yemelya fell in love with his wife. He had the hut on the island transformed into a beautiful palace with a crystal bridge connecting to the mainland, so that his wife could visit her father, the Tsar. With his newfound wisdom, he made amends with everyone, and thereafter lived happily and ruled well. So, what's the moral? Pretty unique and speaks for itself. By doing nothing, getting everything. Pretty typical Russian idea of how you live your life. The luck falls on you out of the blue. You just idle and wait until the happiness itself comes your way. It's still been living in Russian consciousness, still alive in our minds, the big idea of getting rich with no effort. What do you think?